not alarmed, madam, that this letter contain any repetition of those sentiments, or any renewal of those offers, which were, this evening, so disgusting to you. But I must be allowed to defend myself against the charges which are laid at my door, in particular those relating to Mr. Wickham, which, if true, would indeed be grievous, but which are wholly without foundation, and which I can only refute by laying before you his connection with my family. Mr. Wickham was the son of a very respectable man, who had the management of our family estates, and my own father was fond of him, and held him in high esteem. We played together as boys. After his father's early death, my own father supported him through school and later at Cambridge, and hoped he would make the church his career. But by then, George Wickham's habits were as dissolute as his manners were engaging. My own excellent father died 5 years ago, but his commitment to Mr. Wickham was to the last so steady that he desired a valuable family living be his as soon as it became vacant. Mr. Wickham, however, declined any interest in making the church his career, but requested, and was granted, the sum of £3,000 instead of the living. He expressed an intention of studying the law. I wished, rather than believed him to be sincere. All connection between us seemed now dissolved. Being now free from all restraint, his life was one of idleness and dissipation. How he lived I know not, but last summer our paths crossed again in circumstances most painful, and which I myself wish to forget. My sister, Georgiana, who is more than 10 years my junior, was left to the guardianship of Colonel Fitzwilliam and myself. About a year ago she was taken from school to Ramsgate and placed in the care of Mrs. Young, in whose character we were most unhappily misled. Thither also went Mr. Wickham, undoubtedly by design. She was persuaded to believe herself in love and to consent to an elopement. She was then but 15 years old. A day or two before the intended elopement, I joined them unexpectedly. Unable to support the idea of grieving an elder brother whom she looked up to almost as a father, she acknowledged the whole plan to me at once. You may imagine how I felt and how I acted. Mr. Wickham left immediately. Mr. Wickham's objective was, of course, my sister's fortune of £30,000. His secondary motive must have been to avenge himself upon me. Had he succeeded, his revenge would have been complete indeed. This, madam, is a faithful narrative of all my dealings with Mr. Wickham.